Let me start. Please sit down if you can. The Gil Schwed family, the Rashi Foundation representative Francois Leven, the chairman of the executive council Eli Gelman of Tel Aviv University, president of Tel Aviv University Professor Joseph Cluster, president-elect of Tel Aviv University Professor Porat, governors, friends, esteemed colleagues and guests. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the inauguration of the Checkpoint Building for Computer Science and the Youth University. My name is Benny Shor. I'm the chairman of the Computer Science School of Computer Science here at Tel Aviv University, and I will act as the master of ceremony. It's not what I usually do, so if I have some problems, bear with me. We at the School of Computer Science are really excited about having this new home. It is a dream come true, really, which took a while to materialize, but now we're here. We are located at the geographical center of the university, and I think we are also at the intellectual center of the university. We're just between the exact science and the humanities, and we hope that being in the center will help us increase the cooperation with all departments in the campus. We believe that computer science is really maybe the center theme today, and we hope this will indeed happen. We are also happy to share this building with the youth university, which maybe raise our next generation. Maybe on a personal note, I myself and two of my sons, who are now students here, were these past versions of this activity. So it's really great to be together with them, and I hope that we'll actually have cooperation with them. And without further ado, I'd like to invite Professor Joseph Cluster, president of Tel Aviv University.
Good morning. I just wanted to comment that the youth university here will reduce the average age in the building. So this is by itself some advantage. So good morning to everybody, Schwed family, all the dignitaries, governors, colleagues, friends of the university. It's finally happening. So for 7 years, we have waited for this moment. The official dedication of the Checkpoint Building in the presence of the founder, Tel Aviv University governor, and also Tel Aviv University honorary doctor, Gil Schwed, and in the presence of Rashi Foundation, represented by Francois Leven. I want to tell two stories from the history of the place. So I think that probably a week after I entered as a president, Professor Chaim Wolfstone arrived in my office with a plan for a building for the School of Computer Science. So it's 7 years they were acting around, but actually more than probably 10 years. This is one thing. You said it's the center of the campus. When Gil visited here in order to look for a location, we planned to show him a few places at the university. I don't know if by mistake or this was a great, just meant from above. The first place that we showed you was here, and he decided to create a settlement there. So this is where the school is. Since then, by the way, he is the guy who has been following the building more than anybody else by sending pictures daily from the drone that he was sending from his home nearby. So we have been updated daily. Anyway, Gil is a model university benefactor. Not only that he is an extraordinary success in the high-tech world, the person who single-handedly put Israel as a cyber power on the international map, but he has been very highly effective in really securing accessibility to world-class education to youngsters. And this is this marriage here between the Youth University and the School of Computer Science. The Youth University has been really something that was close and still close to Gil's heart. He has been chairing it and supporting it, I think, for about 15 years. And I think that this is, if not so among the most effective and most, I would say, thought about youth universities in Israel now. And finally, with Gil's help and Checkpoint, this school found a home which is here in this building. In parallel, Gil has been involved at Tel Aviv University in a spectrum of, I would say, activities and involvement, including research in the medical and geophysical sciences, Computer Security Institute at the Blavatnik School of Computer Science. And again, when the whole story started, I'll also comment on this, we found also a home for the School of Computer Science. And here comes the role of Hanina Brandes, because the truth is, you know, we are all very happy about computer science, but it started as a building for youth university. This is the truth. This was Gil's dream, love, and passion. But when we sat together, Hanina said, actually, you know, you have also an institute at the School of Computer Science. Why not increase the building? And we are at the, I would say, the result of this meeting. Thank you very much, Hanina, and Gil, who agreed to this. So we have two homes, actually, in one building. Now, of course, we have to thank the Kimmel Eshkolot. Where is Eitan? Eitan and Michal, yes, great. And of course, the people around those who dreamt, who make it happen. So we have, of course, the Tel Aviv University Engineering Division. The School of Computer Science were extremely involved, and so the Youth University, to make sure that every room fits whatever they needed and every window opens correctly. And you know, if you knew how many hours we tested windows in various places at the university, I'm not sure any other building in the country went through this in-depth study of things that nobody except the architects understood. But finally, it's happening. And as I mentioned already, I'm very proud to be a tenant from next week in this building. Now I'd like to say that the whole thing wouldn't have happened if, together with Gil Shved and Checkpoint, Rashi Foundation, represented here by Francois Leven, won't be a part of this activity. And Francois is a fourth generation in the Levant family. Fifth, another generation was born, thank you. Which began with his great-grandfather, I had to add another great, co-founders of a Jewish organization in the late 1800s, correct? 1860 to be more precise. The Rashi Foundation has an impressive, decades-long history of impacting Israeli society through many philanthropic ventures. Here at Tel Aviv University, Rashi has supported a huge range of projects over the years, dating back actually 30 years. Among them, scholarships, research funds, textbook funds, and campus development. So I would say that what we have here is kind of a convergence of values and dreams of Gil Shved, Rashi, and the university. So this is really what we are having here. And I would say that this is already, I think, an architectural icon that will be definitely kind of a symbol of the university. You know, usually reporters take a picture of a university and run with it over years. I know because I have a picture in the newspaper from a bar mitzvah. So I think that this building will play a role as something which represents Tel Aviv University. So congratulations, thank you very much, Gil, Checkpoint, Francois, and Rashi. And now it's a time for certificates. I think you have a number of them. Let's add another one. Gil. Okay. This is to witness that on the 17th day of May 2019, the checkpoint building and checkpoint road, there is also a road, were inaugurated in the presence of Gil Shved and Checkpoint Software Technologies Limited, thereby creating a magnificent new home for two of the university's flagship units, the Youth University and the Blavatnik School of Computer Science, enabling tens of thousands of youngsters annually to explore the wonders of science and technology in a uniquely hands-on, state-of-the-art facility, securing the university's standing as a major hub for educational outreach, helping bridge social gaps and expand accessibility to higher education for talented youngsters across all sectors of society, and serving as direct investment both of Israel's scientific, technological, and economical future, and in the young people who will lead and shape it. Signed by me. So, and this is that we all remember the mock-ups and what we tried over and over at various camps of the campus.
So that's a real window from the building.
Francois, it's your turn. No good. So, since I've read it already, so I can now, let's make a test if anybody remembers what they said. So anyway, congratulations and thank you very much. Again, thank you very much.
So I would like now to invite Professor Sivan Toledo from our department. Wait. So Sivan was really the project manager from our side, and I mean he knows every tile, every corner of a table, and everything. I think without him, it's hard to imagine how on our side this would have happened. And also I would like to mention Yael Schein from the Youth University, who had a similar role. And finally, this is something I didn't know about until this morning, so Sivan has his birthday today, so happy birthday. What did I forget? Gil already got his plaque. Oh, Gil, sorry. Okay, I thought he's getting... I'm sorry. I told you I'm not professional.
Thank you. I would actually give up my speech easily. I'm not very good in speeches, but Professor Klafter, the president, all the distinguished members of the University Board of Governors, the faculty members of the Computer Science Division and of Tel Aviv Youth University, our friends from the Rashi Foundation, ladies and gentlemen, everybody here that supported, worked on this project. Thank you for being here. It's a very special moment for me, and I'll explain why. 36 years ago, I was a young teenager, and actually I didn't get along with school that much, and I was trying to find what I can do with my life. I was trying to find new horizon. I was trying to find ways which I can enrich myself. And I found myself spending most of my time at the university. It was the Hebrew University, not this one, but still in the university, and working my way up and studying computer science when I was 15. And that's how I spent my youth. again, as a kid in the university, working and studying. And I really couldn't imagine that 36 later, my interest in open systems and the internals of operating system would turn into Israel's largest corporation, Check Point. And Check Point is an amazing group of people that prove the world that Israeli companies can become and stay leaders in one of the most important areas that I think we are tackling in our world today, securing our lives in cyberspace. And today, when we inaugurate the Check Point building here at Tel Aviv University, I think it closes a big thing in my life. Home to the Tel Aviv Youth University that empower teenagers to become the science and industry leaders of tomorrow. Home to the computer science school that research, innovates, and educates the future of our industry. This is an amazing opportunity for us to support the staff of Tel Aviv University in shaping the future of our society. I would like to thank everyone that was involved in the important venture. I won't repeat all the names because there are many people here that worked very hard and I recognize and so on. In terms of the vision, I think the vision from my point, the people who took me into that vision were Shira Shofti from the Tel Aviv University. Where is Shira? Yeah. Hanina, which already was mentioned, that got us involved and actually got the computer science department involved in that project. Of course, our architects from Kimmel Eshkolot who made this building a unique thing, not just a regular one. And I think everybody, the Check Point executives and employees, the university department and all stakeholders, of course all the people in Rashi who worked very hard and show that they can take any vision and translate it, this dream into reality. So this is my opportunity to thank you all for what you've done. I want to specifically thank Professor Klafter for your devotion to the university and to this project. I believe it's your last week, your last day in the role, so I think you've done an amazing job, and we had the chance to work with several other leaders of the Tel Aviv University. I think it's time also to congratulate Professor Ariel Porat for getting into these big shoes, and wish you really the best success in the important role you've taken upon yourself. And on behalf of everyone in Check Point, we are now over 5,200 employees around the world. I would like to thank all of you for being part of this celebration. Our quest is to make the world a safer place, is empowered by this shared investment in the future. So good luck to all of us, and I hope that this building will enable its member to believe in their dream, fulfill them, and build our future. Thank you very much.
So, Francois Levin, please.
Thank you very much. It's an honor here to be representing the Rashi family and the Rashi Foundation, because Rashi is, I always get mixed up between the family and the foundation because there's many different groups that are associated also to the main Rashi. So I'd like to, this is not the right speech. That's a speech for my daughter's bat mitzvah last week. You're not going to be interested in that. In any case. So I'd like to thank, of course, everyone that's been involved in this great, beautiful project, and especially thank Gil, who's not only over the past 30 years have been involved in developing and strengthening the state of Israel through his company and through making it such a powerful and large corporation, so to develop Israel in an economical way. But he also is a very dear partner of Rashi. Not only is it a partnership, a financial partnership that we've been at for many years, but he's involved in the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly in Hashi. And he also heads, and he's a chairman of one of our daughter association, Yecholot, who promotes social equality and social justice to try to bring in the periphery, especially in the periphery, education to those that are less fortunate. So I just wanted to congratulate everybody that's been involved, especially, and to wish good luck and good success to all of the youth that are going to be present here and that are going to come through this university. And kol hakavod, and thank you very much.
Okay, so I guess now is the right time for Professor Sivan Toledo.
Thanks. The Checkpoint building, which we are inaugurating today, is first and foremost a home for Tel Aviv Youth University and for the Blavatnik School of Computer Science, a functional physical space that will enable both units to perform better and to achieve more. But public buildings sometimes also have a symbolic meaning. This building is part of a journey that started 110 years ago on a sand dune not far from here, when a group of families allocated lots on which to build their homes in Achuzat Bayit, which became Tel Aviv Yafo. They embarked on a journey of a civic society that builds residential neighborhoods with parks and tree-lined avenues, that builds factories, stores, companies to work in, that builds hospitals, institutions for the arts, for culture, entertainment, and sports, that builds institutions for education, learning, and research, starting with the Hebrew Gymnasium, a high school, in a prominent building right in the center of town, and continuing with numerous kindergartens, schools, high schools, colleges, and, and one university, Tel Aviv University. Checkpoint, the company, is part of this journey of entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and urban solidarity. Tel Aviv Youth University is part of this journey. The School of Computer Science is part of this journey. And the university as a whole is part of this journey, the journey that we call Tel Aviv. 7 years ago, this building was only a vision in Shira Shofti's head. Gil Shved and a group of entrepreneurs transformed Shira's vision into reality by assembling and leading a large team of professionals, experts in aluminum and in concrete, in tenders and schedules, in utility and in beauty, architects, engineers, managers, contractors, foremen, and craftsmen. We've gathered here today to say to the men and women who funded, designed, and built our new home, our elegant and unique home, תבורכנה הידיים שעשו ובנו, תבורכנה ידיכם. Bless your hands, and thank you for your part in this journey. תודה רבה.
Thanks very much, Sivan. So now we'll have a representation from the Youth University, specifically Odyssey program. We'd like to have Dr. Erez Paitan, the academic director of the Future Scientist program, the Odyssey, and also two students, Liam Levy, who is a 10th grade student in high school, studying in the Youth University in the life science track. You're coming here, what do you think? And she's not coming. Okay, and Jonathan Lin, the 11th grade student in high school, also in this track, but he's in the physics track. Okay, so.
distinguished hosts and guests, I'm honored to speak on behalf of Tel Aviv Youth University on this day, the inauguration of its new building, its new home. I joined Tel Aviv Youth University some 10 years ago, helping out a good friend for one summer, a summer that turned into a decade. For a long time in my life, I was looking for a goal and a purpose, something beyond the comfort of a salary, some place where one feels that things really matter. And that place was Tel Aviv Youth University. It was the first place I stopped counting the hours of the day. I forgot about time altogether. This place was home. You'll hear many kids speak of Tel Aviv Youth University using the word home with real tender and longing. It is a home for thousands of kids. It is a home for me. It is a home for all its members and staff who make it such. For a home isn't a mere place of brick and cement, in this case glass. A home is created and realized by its people, its members. It is they who make it a home. And if it is a home for so many people, imagine what will become when an actual house is erected and dedicated to this enormous family. Thanks to Gil Shved and Checkpoint, our home has a new house, and whatever limits we may have had are thus lifted, and a gate is opened to a fantasy world made real. The joy of learning and making science can now be actually explored in real-life, high-quality labs. A voyage of the mysteries of the sky can be realized and experienced in an actual planetarium. Classrooms that are designed especially for the teaching of curious kids, bringing them all together, enabling them to meet one another, to form a community of science and knowledge for a better Israel, for a better life. The new building opens up the horizon to a brighter future, giving the place so many people call home an actual house to grow in. And only the sky's the limit, well, except in the planetarium. This dream would not be possible without the work and contribution of certain dear individuals, and I would like to take a moment to acknowledge them here in this occasion and thank them. To Gil Shved, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Tel Aviv Youth University, a partner and a strategic donor, a dear person that generously accompanies us for many years, and with him, to Roy Edelstein, to the Checkpoint Company, and to Hanina Brandes, thank you for all you have done, and especially for your enthusiasm in building our new home. To Dovik Lautman, Zichrono Livracha, for the initiative, and Itzik Turjaman, Ofra Yechieli, and the Rashi Foundation for their genuine involvement throughout the process. A huge thank you to Professor Yossi Klafter, Tel Aviv University's president, for the university's great donation and for placing the education of future generations at the center of academic life here at Tel Aviv University's campus. To our beloved Professor Shimon Yankelevich, Chairman of the Academic Board, for your invaluable contribution throughout the years to all aspects of Tel Aviv Youth University. To our own Yael Shine, who dedicated years of hard work to make our new home perfect, thinking about everything, putting in her heart and soul. And last, but not least, to Shira Shofti, whom we can never thank enough. Thank you for dreaming and succeeding in recruiting and connecting and forming the bridge of hope and action that connected all these wonderful people to make a dream come true. And I'm now proud to invite Liam Levy and Yonatan Lin, two bright students of Tel Aviv Youth University, to speak on behalf of all its students.
Distinguished guests, my name is Liam Levy, and since a very young age, the formal education system did not satisfy my natural curiosity. I had so many ideas and questions about the world revolving around me, and I needed to find a place to expand my horizons and knowledge. The place I was looking for is the Tel Aviv Youth University. I participated in countless programs since the age of 10, including an academic program that allows me to finish my first degree in chemistry and biology while still being a regular high school student. The encounter with teachers and educators that we can look up to, and with the challenges I faced throughout my studies, had a crucial impact on me, as they shaped me into the person I am today.
I am Jonathan Lin, and I study physics and mathematics. In this program, I finally found many other teenagers with the same interests, aspirations, and ambitions that I have. We all formed meaningful social relationships that greatly contributed to our personal development. We are very excited to greet on this occasion about the inauguration of Checkpoint Building on behalf of 25,000 students from diverse learning programs of Tel Aviv Youth University.
The Youth University allows high school and middle school students exposure to the various fields of science and technology, while granting them their initial experience in the process of scientific research. It includes a great amount of programs that allow thousands of curious students seeking additional knowledge to study different fields in order to stand at the forefront of future innovative science.
Tel Aviv University for Youth is a second home for many pupils from miscellaneous backgrounds. The opening of this new building is such an exciting event for us because it will allow us to form and strengthen essential bonds between pupils from different programs while keeping continuous contact with students from the various faculties.
Study rooms and laboratories will turn our learning experience into much more effective and meaningful, while enabling us to exchange ideas and form new connections between other students studying in this building. These bonds can significantly contribute to the scientific community here in Israel, while also contributing to our personal development as scientists and as human beings.
Sir Isaac Newton, one of the most influential scientists of all times and a key figure in the scientific revolution, claims, "Men build too many walls and not enough bridges." This building is, in a physical aspect, an example of constructing walls. However, in this case, it is a perfect illustration of the formation of bridges. This bridge can collaborate various ideas, conjoin students from diverse programs, while encouraging us to find inspiration from each other.
In conclusion, we'd like to thank Tel Aviv University and the Checkpoint Company for this incredible initiative that we believe will greatly affect many teenagers just like us on their way of becoming researchers in the future. Thank you very much. תודה.
Professor Nachum Dershowitz from the School of Computer Science will talk about AI applications in the Talmud and Gniza.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. So I have 1 minute to tell you about computational humanities.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. So we're in this beautiful building, this lovely building, but opposite is Timbalista and the humanities and the Jewish studies department down the way. And the question is, what can the artificial intelligence do to help the scholar? So normally the scholar looks at old texts. For example, this Mesha Stili, which was recently in the news, or the Passover letter, or the Dead Sea Scrolls, or the Nash Papyrus, or the Aleppo Codex, and he sits and pores over, looking at each letter and trying to figure everything out. But nowadays things are different, with the help particularly of philanthropists. All this material is being digitized, is putting on a computer, making it available over the internet, hopefully open for anyone and everyone to study. So you have, for example, the Dead Sea Scrolls online, or you have the Ktiv project at the National Library, or there's volunteers that are putting Jewish texts on the internet, or the historical newspapers, and so on and so forth. The Wiener collection, the Yad Vashem, all these things are now available over the internet. So instead of, like in the olden days, people had to go to this beautiful library in Prague or in Escorial, now you can this young scholar can lie on the couch and have access to all this material. So things are very different. But with all this material available, how can the computer help? Well, first we have to teach the computer ABCs, how to read, Aleph Bet. So we did some experiments. We're taking 2 books from the Bible, Ezekiel and Jeremiah, mixing them together, see if the computer can tell them apart. Well, it can, and gets in the newspapers. Or this work of archaeologists and physicists and mathematicians at the university were looking at these ostraca, these pieces of pottery on which people wrote things 2,600 years ago. And lo and behold, with modern techniques, you can read a line that no one could read before. Okay, the soldiers needed wine. Or the Dead Sea Scrolls, where scholars have put them together, and then these were photographed and on these plates. And then someone comes and asks me, can we find this fragment in a circle on the old pictures? Well, yes, the computer found them, and now this French scholar has something to write in his articles. But to do that, we had to train the computer to see where the fragment is and where the shadow is. So to remove the shadow from these old pictures and teach the computer to see where one thing is and where the other is. Okay, so now the Antiquities Authority is photographing everything in this high resolution photographs, and you can see every fiber on this papyrus. And again, the computer has to learn to separate background from foreground, to get rid of this Japanese paper that the conservators use, and so on and so forth, and then can locate these fragments and find them where people no longer knew where they are. Or put a piece of parchment into a CT, a tomography machine, and read, and teach the computer to detect the ink there. And well, we know that computers know how to recognize faces. We can teach the computer to recognize letters instead of faces, and find that this page matches that one, or this little piece is written by the same person as that little piece. And again, this hits the newspapers. And now a scholar is looking at this one document on the left, and the computer says, perhaps you might be interested in some of these others. And indeed, I hear all the time how the computer helps find things, and scholars are very happy, so thank you very much.
Okay, so this concludes this event. You're all welcome to the unveiling of the sign that's at the entrance, and then you're welcome to explore the building on your own. It's a very beautiful building. It's worthwhile.